Now what? Dr. Lisa Lang, who had done a wonderful work on mafia offers, she made one statement that not selecting a target market in marketing is like not cutting WIP in operations. Now, in operations, in manufacturing, we know we have seen that we cut down on inventory, work in process inventory. She says that we have to do similar things in our if we want to create an offer to a market. We can't make a generalized offer which is good for all. So companies that are embraced TOC, they have generally divided their market into numerous small segments, each of which can be a target segment, and their offer could be different because why it could be different or why it needs to be different, because the problems that you intend to solve are different. There's one example of market segmentation because we sometimes don't understand what it means. So there could be geographic, demographic, psychographic, and behavioral. There are four types, and the examples like geographic could be region, country, population, climate, and demographic could be age, gender, nationality, etc. Then psychographic could be lifestyle, personalities, values, attitudes, etc. And behavioral could be some brand loyalty or some user status, something of that kind. Just to give you a quick idea, I don't intend to discuss this in great detail because I don't. I think POC doesn't recommend this kind of segmentation. But just to give you an idea about what the segmentation is generally meant. So a segment is defined as a set of customers who are insulated by way of unique requirements from the wider market. Yes, this definition should fit in what I showed you earlier. The market is segmented according to the problems and needs of certain groups of clients. This also will fit in the earlier okay example. But what it does not do is that the problems created by our industry. So this segmentation doesn't cover that. So that's why I'm not too happy with that segmentation. Anyway, that's not the real point. But I wanted to give you a good example of the segmentation that is happening in Maharashtra today. We know the situation, COVID-19 situation. Recently, okay, first of all, let me clarify that I don't intend to discuss any politics or I don't support any political party or something. But I like this segmentation that was done, so I picked up that as an example. Now, okay, we had done this lockout, right? So I mean lockdown, right? We had done that lockdown, and we wanted to slowly lift it. So how did government of Maharashtra went about it? It did 5 segments: districts with less than 5% positivity rate and less than 25% occupancy of oxygen beds, and then slowly increase that percentage. That 5% positivity rate is segment 2, but oxygen bed occupancy is between 25 to 40%. Then the third segment, they had a higher rate of positivity and kept a higher rate of bed occupancy for oxygen. Similarly, segment 4 and 5. The needs of this segment, the problems faced by this segment are different, and the treatment that is required or the action that is required to be taken is different. So this is another example of doing market segmentation.
Perfect. This very nice example. It's a very nice example.
Thank you. I request to you all that I'm not able to see who is speaking. So when you speak, if you tell me your name, I'll be able to relate. Okay. So
it was me, sir. It was me, Anwar. Yeah.
Okay, Anwar. Thanks. Okay, TOC recommends that a market is segmented according to problems and needs of certain groups of clients. The more painful the problem, the stronger the need. The higher is client's perception of value of the offer that removes the problem and meets the need. So it is not, it is talking about two things. One is having pain. Pain is not their own pain, but created by us, by our industry. And if it is more painful, the need is even stronger. All that has to fall within the client's perception of value. What is see, there is always a tug of war between sales and the management. Sales say we must act upon customers' perception of value. They think that our product is small, what we are doing is small, and all that. But the management says that we must get a reasonable product margin. We have spent huge money in setting up this plant and getting people, training people, hiring this, getting this, that, material, processing, distribution, sales, all that. So we must, this is we our perception of value is so much. So we must get some margin on that. So this tug of war always remains. So many times, a picture is worth 1,000 words. If you say the customer is holding a small fish in his hand, that is the perception of the value that customer has. Whereas the suppliers show that the value is so big, though there is no real fish in supplier's hand. So the job of marketing is to raise the perception of value by the market, at least to the level of supplier's perception of value. If you can make it more, fine. But it is the job of the marketing to raise that perception of value. Easier said than done, but let's say. Again, let's come back to airlines pricing. How they do it. This is very, very amusing. Whenever you travel, just ask your fellow traveler how much he has paid for the ticket, and you'll be amazed. See, what is the constraint of a plane is the capacity. If they can carry 100 passengers, that's it. There's no standing allowed like in the buses. Jokes apart, but that is the real constraint. They cannot sell more seats than what they have. Now, they can have single price for all seats. Yeah, fine, but they get a certain return, which may not be really attractive for them to remain in the business. But so they play with that. They play with the market needs, the needs of different people, different individuals, different companies. It is conceivable that you could sit next to a person who purchased a ticket for $99, but not bothered by the fact that your cost was $300. Can you imagine? You paid $300 to buy a flight ticket, and you find the person sitting next to you has paid only $99. It could agitate you. You will feel that you are cheated this year. But that's not the case. The reason why you would be comfortable with this pricing differentially is your fellow flyer would have had to accept a set of conditions that you would have found unsavory. For example, their ticket probably would be purchased some weeks in advance. You purchased it day before yesterday. But that passenger purchased weeks in advance. So they charge him less for that perhaps. He is forced to buy a return ticket. Yours is not return ticket. It is only one way. When somebody buys a return ticket, or some business is assured to the airline, his ticket could be unchangeable. He has booked for a certain flight, 7 o'clock flight or whatever that flight is. He cannot change it. And if he cannot go by that flight, his money is gone. But in your case, you are allowed to change. His ticket could be non-refundable. If he is not able to go, all $99 are gone. But if you decide to cancel your trip, your $300 are refunded. They might force him that, you cannot come back on weekend. Okay, you can come back only after Monday or something, which is not your case. You come back whenever you like. So these are the, several sets of conditions. Maybe there is some, corporate reservation. They say that in these certain flights on certain days, you keep certain tickets reserved for our executive. Just log for us. We'll pay you some money and whatever. So there are different. Almost every flyer is a different client or different segment for them. Dr. Goddard once said that they are overdoing it, but still the fact is that they have done this and they are benefited by them. And despite that, the customers are happy because they know what they are buying. So obviously, this flexible approach to pricing enables airlines to maximize their yield on their available seats. and also cater to the need of the customer, what he wants. Because there are various things, because you are doing a travel and you want some options, so you pay accordingly. Now, how to create the mafia offer for a segmented market? When we talk about market, we talk about mafia offer. Let us remember that we are talking only about a segmented market. We are not talking about anything else. So, how to choose the target market? How to choose? Where do you make most throughput? What do your customers compliment you on? So there's some things that you have which others do not have. What part of your business do you have your most expertise? What's the group of people who are most likely to benefit from? And there's some more, but I'll just give it a pass.